Hello, everybody. All right, yeah, just came back from a workout. Haven't even showered, but I was just like, yeah, pretty happy. Thought it would be nice to share a little bit about meta, loving kindness. Um, a couple like practical suggestions for the practice and why it matters. So, a full, video could be made about all of the benefits of a loving kindness meditation, its fruits, its phenomenology, why I think it actually has significance in society, and the future of consciousness as well. All of that eventually really ought to be covered. But I wanted, kind of like just very pragmatically, for people who haven't tried it or you've tried a little bit, what else can you do? So, the classic formulation of loving kindness is something like, well, you first kind of like relax a little bit and you meditate a little bit, let's say on your breath or something like that. And then you start saying phrases like, may I be happy, may my parents be happy, may my friends be happy, and you kind of expand the circle of compassion until eventually you say, may all sentient beings be happy, may all beings be happy, may they be free from suffering. There is a risk here, which is if you encode these as some kind of like magic words or magical ritual, or like, you're doing some invocations or something, like it's a magic trick, or some spirit, you're kind of appealing to like a pre-existing order of the universe in order to, whenever these words are uttered, hopefully this feeling arises, or something like that. And I think that's not a very helpful way of seeing it. It's much, much more helpful if the way you think of it is you're doing mental moves and then scanning for what kind of effect it has on you, and you bring a sort of intelligence to it to essentially push in the direction of the things that actually create a response. So one suggestion that Rob Rubia provides, in this condensed version, he mentions, three qualities of of kind of like, bringing intelligence to meditation. It would be, first of all, sensitivity. You know, there's a lot of techniques for increasing sensitivity, and that is, for example, you focus your awareness in a very spread out way across your entire energy body, your felt sense of the flow of energy, kind of this cocoon of sensations. You try to spread it out so that you can detect the things that are happening all across it, right? You don't have a narrow focus where you're just, focusing on, oh, what's happening here? What's happening here? Like, no. You kind of like have, sensitivity, receptivity, right? Then the second term he uses is responsivity. Essentially, you want to respond to what goes on, right? You don't want to drone the same phrases over and over, the same mental move. It's not causing an effect. He uses this metaphor of like a thermos, like a bird sometimes can spend very little energy and maintain a certain height by finding where there's kind of like this air currents, this hot air that is going upwards, so you can kind of like glide and don't have to spend a lot of energy. So in meditation for loving kindness, you might say something like, may I be happy. And then when maybe the phrase that you notice that causes the feeling happy, okay, that maybe is the one that happy. And then if you feel a current, okay, maybe you don't need to spend a lot of energy, right? Like you can just kind of glide on that. You don't have maybe to say the whole phrase, right? You don't have to go through the entire play. You just kind of like are intelligent about it. It's like, oh, okay, this way of saying it, this tone, you modulate the quality of attention, the envelope, the attack, decay, sustain, release of the phrases, of the mental moves, of the pictures that you use in order to arouse that positive feeling. So that is responsivity. And then the third, helpful concept is attunement. Where yeah, I mean, like, is the brain a kind of a radio for consciousness and can tune into it? Well, phenomenologically, there's a sense in which that's absolutely the case. And so, if you notice some like vibrations that are pleasant, they're kind of loving, caring, and so on in your energy body, phenomenologically defined, so you can tune into it with your attention. And a lot of people may have this conception of attention as kind of like, oh, just a laser, a point, right? But no, 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 no. Attention is so much more general, right? Like you can have like a volume of attention. You can attend in a wave like pattern. Or, if you're doing kind of like a deconstructive practice or something, you can attend in like lots of tiny dots, lots of tiny points. Or you can attend in kind of like a very equanimous way, where you just let open up to whatever happens, right? Or you can attend in a very diffuse, dissociated way. There's all kinds of ways you can modulate attention, and that's something to play with. It's almost kind of, if thinking about it from a technical perspective, it's almost kind of like a convolutional filter, where like the shape of your attention, if it's kind of like wave-like, it's going to be picking up on wave-like qualities of your experience. If your attention is very point-like and focused, it's going to be, amplifying the point-like parts of your experience. There's, something along the lines of a convolution going on here. And essentially what you want is to have the quality of attention that will tune into precisely, the most loving and caring qualities of the experience that you're playing with. And yeah, so in that sense, it's an art. Don't think of it in a very formulaic way. It's more like this algorithm that you're applying, and you're responding to what's unfolding in the moment. You don't get stuck, right? Like if you think like, oh, like meditation is just not doing anything for me right now, well, try a different approach. Maybe move around, do it walking, you're doing while exercising, or listen to a particular, song. See what arouses the feeling. If maybe one day it just doesn't work at all, and that's totally fine as well. Don't beat yourself over, because that also is kind of doing the opposite of what we want. But essentially, yes, cultivate those three qualities. Just to wrap up: sensitivity, responsivity, and attunement. All right, that's it for now. Thank you so much. Infinite bliss, everybody. Until next time on another topic.